Welcome, Capricorn. This is your monthly focus for December 2022. So we will dive right into the astrology, then move to the tarot cards. We'll have an oracle card at the end to bring it all together. So let's start with where the sun is as December starts. It is in Sagittarius. So that is your 12th house. That is your spirituality, your connection to God, your angels, your spirit guides, the cosmos, the universe, your higher self, that divine energy that surrounds you. You can connect with so much easier. Your intuition is very strong and very high, a very high vibration to lead you down the right roads. You may be ending things in your life in different areas, and you may be looking to begin new things. It's definitely a dreamland kind of things, and thinking about where you want to go going forward. Mars will also be. Oh my gosh, Dylan is being bad. He's got like a plastic bottle or something that he likes taking the lids off, but it makes a lot of racket. I do apologize. I'm going to just pause this before we get into anything else and take that away from him because it's distracting me. Okay, let's get going here on this. Okay, so Mars also is retrograde the entire month. So you are when Mars is in retrograde, it's really your life is under construction. Okay, we don't have that oomph to go forward. We don't have that charge, challenge, seize the day, going forth of new opportunities and adventures, and be the pioneer and be in your independence. We just don't have the wind in our sails for that kind of energy. And this is about your health and well-being. This is about your day in, day out stuff. So it could be the job, it could be your routine. And also, there is a little bit about growing our relationships a little bit deeper as well. And so, since our life is under construction, we shouldn't be trying to branch out into new ways because I don't think we have the gumption is what I hear, the gumption to go after what we want. So it's more of thinking about the expansion. So if you were lifting weights, maybe add extra reps or uh, maybe invite in one or two new exercises you can do or switch up the routine in some way. What you want to do is get that working better for you so that it's not something that you have to schedule in, but it's just something that you automatically have in your life in order to go forward. So there's a consistency you want to build. Maybe it's a different way of eating. Maybe it's just a rearrangement of your day to day routine, when you get up, when you go to bed, when you eat lunch, when you do the certain things that you do. Maybe it's the way you take to work every day and home again, and maybe changing stuff like that up. It could be a little bit about our behaviors and our habits, and what habits do we really want to leave in the past and really create some wonderful new habits for ourselves to move us forward. Or maybe it's a behavior. Maybe we know that we react this way in this situation and we really don't like ourselves when we do that, but we can't help it. And maybe it is a search within of finding out why that first happened in our lives and going back in time until we hit that spot. With a little bit of patience, you can do that quite easily. Asking your subconscious to go back in the filing cabinets and find some stuff. And it's amazing what you remember with such clarity that you didn't even remember knowing in the first place. Like it wasn't a childhood story or anything, but there it was, and it played perfectly, and you remembered the time just like it was yesterday, and that changed the way you approach things or do things. Or on December the 7th, the Capricorn party will begin. Okay, and we don't really realize it yet because Pluto's been in there for in your sign for quite some time, but now we have Mercury slipping into your sign, so your voice is alive. It's magical. You're using your voice with a strength. Your thoughts have strength. They have a groundedness about it, or a reality kind of approach to things. I don't think you're throwing in a lot of fluff words this month. It's more of getting to the task at hand, getting your point across, getting the buy-in, whatever it might be. But your voice becomes very strong as you go forward. Now, for you, remember that Mercury will go stationary retrograde at the very end of the month, and I'll just talk about that briefly. But for you especially, this is in your sign, so this is the time to really use your voice and make some declarations, make some affirmations, make some statements. Maybe it's writing a book, maybe it's writing a book, maybe it's speaking before a crowd, maybe it is putting yourself on the pedestal and grandstanding yourself in some way, or showing your talents and abilities through your voice, through your stories. On the 8th, we then have the full moon in Gemini. And so that is your health and well being. That is what is not working for me, and I need to release it. I need to let it go. I need to find a different way of doing this. This didn't fit into my lifestyle, or I found it too challenging, or it wasn't making me happy. It was taking away all my happiness by doing this regiment of whatever it was in order to make, a better, healthier you, the best version of you can be. Really, is that's what we're looking at. So watch how you deal with people under this kind of energy. That's part of it. Look at your negotiations and contracts, absolutely. But I think for you, it's more of defining what is working for you and what is not working for you when it comes to your health, your well-being, or maybe it's your routine, maybe it's the job, and finding different things about that you do like and you do gravitate to, things that you don't like, things that you have control over, no control over. But the things we have control over, what we can change or tweak or invite in or take out in order to really have the happiness, the joy that we are in search of while we are on our path. December 10th, Venus will then move into Capricorn. You see how I say the party's happening? Now we got 3 signs in there, 3 planets in there. So Venus moving into Capricorn, you sparkle. You just have to. I mean, that is the planet of beauty, of love, of riches, of abundance. So you could be very lucky for Venus to be in your sign right now, and even more so once the sun moves in there, which will happen on December the 21st. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because we still haven't talked about Jupiter. Is it Jupiter? Yeah, Jupiter going into Aries on December the 20th. I don't know why I keep trying to say the wrong month for that. I've done it in a couple of videos now. I sound more like Porky Pig. So let's see here, for Jupiter moving for you. It has been a lot about your voice and the expansion of your voice, what you say, what you are communicating, your story, how you communicate with people, how you deal with people. And this will be going on until the 20th, but the 20th, then Jupiter goes into Aries, and that's all about home and family. Now it'll be there until May of 2023. So it's really about the expansion, the happiness, the joy that is from your family, is from your home. Maybe you are redecorating it, maybe you're moving, maybe you're upsizing, you're downsizing, you're getting something that reflects who you are a little bit more, or you feel a little bit more comfortable in it. Maybe it's the neighborhood, maybe it's just the way it's all decorated. So it could be changing homes, absolutely. It's also a little bit about safety and security, and how you feel safe in your environment, and how you make it a safe place for you, a safe space for you, and how you create that in your life, and knowing that you have that in your life. And so you'll be looking at this until May of 2023. So you could be redecorating, you could be moving, you could be changing things up, family. The family dynamics may be changing in some way, but it's for the betterment of the family, and especially where you sit within the family. So December 21st, happy birthday. The sun moves in to your sign, Capricorn, and it marks the winter solstice, of course. So this is a time to really think about what you've done in the past year and reflect on it a little bit. Where you've grown, where you've slipped, where you've gone really forward, some of the things that you wanted to do and you got to do, and what was the result of that? Was it as great as you thought it was, or was it a letdown? And why do you think it was a letdown? And what things do you want to do going forward in your life, in all areas of your life? Okay, I just finished telling Saj, whoever said you get one candle and you blow out that one candle and you get one wish to that one candle was the biggest pessimist. He was a Scrooge. He was a bully. He was a meanie to really convince people that that was the truth. 365 days, you get one wish. Okay, that's it. You're done. You're cut off. We get all the wishes we want. Okay, so 10. Pick 10. Okay, for your wishes. Okay, because 10 is a lucky number, anyways. And have it 10 different wishes, 10 different desires, 10 different goals that you set out for yourself, little ones, big ones. I mean, this is the time to structure a plan, right? Make a strategy. Think about what you want to do going forward and put the year behind you, and celebrate your successes, of course, throughout the year. And take your learning experiences and apply them to your path forward. Don't dwell on them in the past. It's done. It's over. Let's move forward. And so the sun shining in your sign, beautiful. And if that doesn't make it just almost completely fabulous, because now we have Pluto in there, we've got Mercury in there, we've got Venus in there, the sun has just moved in, but wait, it's not over yet, because on December the 23rd we get a new moon in Capricorn. You get your new moon, and that new moon is when you really want to blow out those candles. So if you had your birthday early or you had your birthday later, it doesn't matter. You can do a double whammy on your new moon and do the wishes all over again. Absolutely, it's allowed. So we'll have that new moon, and that's when you really, really decide. That's when the clarity comes in. That's when the knowledge and the understanding comes in of where you want to apply yourself, where you want to go forward, and making some commitments to yourself, some goals to yourself. And the consistency will bring things to life, especially with Venus in there. Venus in Capricorn especially is all about following your passions consistently to bring your passions to life. Make them a reality, make them tangible, make them real. So it's when you're blowing out that candle, you know how much time and energy you're going to give to that candle, that wish, that desire, that goal, that dream, that want. Okay, let's go to the cards. And of course, December the 29th, Mercury will go stationary retrograde. Above all else, get your paperwork in order, okay? Especially if you got negotiations and contracts going on. You don't want to be going into a new year and do a fumble, right out of the gate. So, rather than doing it during that time, if you can move it forward, that would be great. I know December is busy for many people, but try and fit that in so that any kind of paperwork, maybe get a head start on getting everything for taxes in order, so that you don't miss something, because we could very easily miss something when we're trying to organize those things under a retrograde, especially a Mercury retrograde. Okay, let's go to the cards. And we'll take the bottom two. I'm not going to look at them. There we go. I want to be just as surprised as you. Look at this, the Four of Pentacles. What are you hanging on to? This is the shadow energy of the entire month, of really looking at what you were hanging on to, what you were holding on to. Let it go. Detach from it. Maybe it's control over certain things in your life, okay? Give up the control. Give it to someone else. Maybe they won't do the job that you could have done, but they'll get it done. Or who cares if it gets done probably? Does it affect your life, or are you doing it because? This is about letting things go. We're holding a coin so close. We've got our feet both on a pentacle. And if we got up, we let go of that coin, we stepped off those other coins, we turned around, we would see the ultimate path to our abundance. The gate is actually a giant pentacle, and it's being guarded by angels, waiting for your approach, waiting for you to release some of those things in your life that weigh you down, that burden you, that don't allow you to go forward in the way you want. Now, the card underneath that is the Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords is once again about making sure that you're not taking with you things that you don't need. Here we're walking around, we're picking up the swords that we are going to need on our path forward. But notice how we walked by those two that were just standing right there in the ground. We could have just walked by and picked those up and not broken our stride, but yet we stop, we bend down, we get that one a couple of paces over instead, because that's the one we needed in order to go forward. As beautiful as those two were, we don't really need them for our path forward. So stop overloading the cart. It just makes it harder and harder to go forward when that happens. So it's about releasing, letting go. This is also one about watch where you're sharing and who you're sharing with. Make sure that your trust of telling your story or something to another person doesn't come back to bite you. Not everybody is on your side. Not everybody is rooting for you. In fact, we're all rooting for ourselves in some perverse way rather than the collective. But we do. We don't want anybody to get ahead of us, or what does that say about us if they can do that, right? So this might be where you walk into work and you go, oh my gosh, I had this flash last night. It was what we could do in the office here. And I'm going to walk in with the boss and tell him, and your buddy that you work with says, oh yeah, what was it about? Tell me. And you start describing it and how different things were sectioned up and how it just worked that much smoother because of it. And you were going to go and tell the boss, and they're like, oh, it sounds like a great idea. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. They pat you on the back. You go off into the washroom, get ready for the day. You come out and you see your buddy standing in there with the door closed with the boss. And he's getting the promotion, or they are getting the promotion because they just took your story and presented it to the boss. So it's things like that. Or you tell somebody and they're like, oh, that sounds wonderful, that sounds great, and then they turn around to their friends and say, you wouldn't believe what they told me. Wait till you get a load of this story, what they're going to do. Okay, and almost mock you and tear down your energy in that way. So trusted people that you trust in this world, share your stories with them, share your wants, your needs, your desires, your goals with them. But I wouldn't just broadcast it to the world for the month of December. I would stay pretty humble in what I was telling people and what I wasn't telling people. Okay, our first card is the Moon. This is your inner child. How fitting is this? Okay, this is about feeling the freedom, feeling the liberation. So it's really going within your heart center. You may call this your inner child. You may call this your soul. You may just symbolize it as your heart center. And it's about the joy, the happiness, the peace of mind, the balance we can feel. And finding that balance and finding that peace of mind and knowing what it is, what is the secret recipe for us, for ourselves, what makes us joyful, what makes us happy, what stresses us out, and get to know yourself a little bit better. Okay, and honor your emotions. This is a card to truly honor your emotions. It's okay to feel sad or happy or angry, or all those things are very, it's how we utilize these things, or we look at them, that we think they're positive or negatives. Every emotion is an emotion to grow ourselves. Every emotion pretty well sets off some kind of chemical in our brain so that we can deal with it. So when we're walking around, the boss says, oh yeah, there's new software on Monday, so show up a half an hour earlier so you can figure it out. Otherwise you're going to be lost your whole shift. And you stress about it the whole weekend, right? Well, you know what happens then? Your appetite kind of goes. There's no sense in eating. You have a fear, right? It's fight or flight. And you have to face it. So you can't sleep right. You don't eat right. You're moody. And it controls you because we are in many ways wired for the caveman experience. So when the saber-toothed tiger was coming at us and we had fear, fight or flight, we weren't hungry. because there wasn't any sense in eating if we were like eating for lunch that day. We had no time to sleep. We weren't tired. The adrenaline was going right through us. And sometimes everything gets cleaned out of your body, right? Because we don't want that extra weight if we got to run fast. You're not so you can't calm down. You can't, and so we allow the stresses in our life, and most of them are things that aren't even happening to us at the present time. But we do have a fear of what we may be stepping into, or the unknown. So get to know yourself a little bit better. Know what truly makes you happy, not what makes the world happy. What makes you happy? What brings you joy? What brings you peace of mind? What makes you feel light as a feather, like you're dancing on air? Okay, we've got the devil. Wow, strong energy here. The devil card shows up. This is about, and it's beautiful for you because this is the phoenix rising out of the ashes. This is the birth, the rebirth of the phoenix. The phoenix grows very old and very wise, bursts into flames, turns into ash, and out of that ash, a new phoenix is born, right? So we are the phoenix being born out of the ashes. And do we take that wisdom with us? I believe absolutely. But we allow the things to go away that needs to go away in our lives. We allow it to turn to ash, so to speak. Not have those ties to us, or the burdens, or the anxieties, or the fears holding us down, weighing us down, keeping us down. This could be negative talk. This could be self negative talk. This could be changing environments, changing jobs, changing in relationships. And then we have the Ten of Wands. And yes, this is very much a theme for you. And the cards especially is you are carrying, look at you. Okay, you're going to the castle. Okay, I hate to point it out to you, but you have a long walk because that big, huge castle looks like that in the card. It is like way, way far off. And we have to walk all the way to that castle. Look at us. Every step is a challenge. We have so much on our plate, obligations, responsibilities. We need to say stop. We need to take that backpack off. We need to lay out our wands and we need to look at them and ask ourselves, which ones am I going to take forward with me? Well, some of them have great growth potential, right? There's some buds, there's some leaves there. But some of them, when we look, they're just deadwood. Why are we dragging this with us? Why are we holding on to it? So look at the things that you carry forward with you, or you keep putting on the back burner and you're not addressing. And so it does weigh you down. Or maybe there's a lot of clutter around you in your life. So it's about creating the harmony, creating the space for new things to come in, new things to begin. For work and career, we have the Page of Swords. You might want to do something a little spontaneous. Now think about it, okay? Because if you're too spontaneous about it, you don't think about it, chances are you're going to land on your face. But a little spontaneity may go a long way at moving you in the direction that you want when it comes to work, when it comes to career. Maybe you say, you know what, I'm tired of trying to be prepared and know enough and have enough knowledge and enough money in the bank or enough time. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to start it and see where it goes. That might be the best experience for you. Because while nobody really knows you, you can get rid of all those little mistakes that you make and nobody would know any different about you, okay? This is often a very highly spiritual card. So talk to God, your angels, your spirit guides for guidance, for protection, for knowledge. Ask for the download. Absolutely. So when it comes to working, or be a little spontaneous, you've always wanted to apply for that job, but go ahead. Go ahead, check it out. Get a tour of the place that you might one day potentially work at. You don't have to say yes at the end of it when they hire you, But you can go through the experience just to see if you would fit into that world rather than the world that you are fitting into right now. For love, relationship, the Chariot is here, pulling it back a little bit. Pulling it back, really, really looking at the relationships in our life. So this isn't new relationships. If you were to meet somebody right now, I think it would be a very stagnated kind of relationship. Neither one would really want to go forward until they knew exactly what they were doing, and that really takes all the romance out of it when we drive ourselves purely by logic in a romantic setting. This is more about thinking about where we are in our path with our relationships. So look at your different relationships, your spouse, your lovers, your children, your parents, maybe a next door neighbor or a coworker that you're close to, your best friend. And look at those relationships and really pull back and understand where that relationship is going and where do you want it to go. Do you want it to continue? Do you want it to grow? Do you want it to deepen? Is it a two-way street? Do you need to step up to the plate? Do they need to step up to the plate? Are there conversations to be had? For our spirituality, we have the Two of Wands. Oh, just wish it in. Clear the space around us. Look at us. We have nothing. We have one box there, but it's open. We can look in that box and see that there's absolutely nothing in the box as well. Now, could this be during a moon phase that we're asking? Because look at that moon in the sky. But we have cleared the path for the new beginnings to come in. Remember all those candles you're blowing out? We've cleared the path and we are summoning it in. We're saying, come to me. Right? We're standing there and we're asking it to come forward. We're summoning it. Our best life ever. And is it going to show up like, whew? Well, it could. There's always that chance. There's always magic. But for the most part, we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and get to work and really get determined about what we truly want in our life going forward. So think about it, make a wish, blow out those candles, and then get serious about it. Start tidying up around yourself of what doesn't need to be a part of your path going forward. And then once you have the area clean, whether it's extra time, more money, more resources, more energy, whatever it may be, then you summon it in. You say, I'm ready for you now. Let's do this. Let's go. Okay. So yeah, I would have to say, when it comes to the spirituality, to have the expectation that it's on its way. And to do that within meditation, within prayer, to talk like it's on its way. It's arriving. So your prayers and your meditations are more of a thank you. Thank you for providing me with this opportunity, this person in my life, this situation in my life, this environment, whatever it may be. Okay. Health and well-being. We have the Knight of Cups, and this is about loving each other, letting our hair down, taking some time out, and just having quality time with the people we love in our life. If you want to feel great throughout the month of December, then back it up. Do one-on-ones with the people you love most in your life and grow those relationships. Grow memories in those relationships. Just, this is... here's the knight, no weapon. He's in his Sunday duds. He's looking pretty good, right? A goblet in his hand. There's a nice big blanket there on that horse, so maybe that's going to get thrown under the apple tree. And there's this bubbling brook, and there's some deers over there. And was that a bunny rabbit that just hopped through the, and it's just kind of a beautiful atmosphere. The birds are singing in the trees, and you're sitting there with your goblets and enjoying a picnic on a beautiful day underneath that apple tree with that bubbling brook. Okay, it's about creating those special moments. It doesn't have to be a lot of time, or it's the quality of time that you are spending with that person and what you do. Do you just sit there and check your phones, or do you sit there and you keep your phone in your back pocket or in the car, or don't take it with you? Try that. See how long before it is you start twitching a little bit. Okay, let's get to a rose card. A rose oracle. Okay, our card is the second bloom. A second chance, It's never too late and new possibilities. I'll hold the card up once I find it in the book here for us. The second bloom. Okay, here we go. This is a card of second chances, new beginnings, regeneration, and reinventing yourself. It's never too late to surrender to what's blooming within you. All that matters is that you surrender to the buds that are now longing to grow and be known. No matter your age or what you may have previously occurred, this card is an invitation to surrender to a second bloom, to welcome the new and share it with the world, to acknowledge the secret passions, the longings, the creations, the yearnings, and let them bud and bloom. If we properly follow things to the end, new beginnings will always come. If we surrender to the cycles of life, after winter, spring will always return. If we tend to the seeds in the fertile earth, they'll eventually emerge. Just as we think the season's over and the winter's drawing near, some roses bless us with an unexpected second bloom. If this card appears in a spread, which it just did, it's a likely sign that you too are set for a second bloom. Perhaps you've had a creation that's been waiting to be brought forth, or maybe it's a new relationship or a passion in your life. Maybe what's waiting to be born is a new version of you. The more open we are to change and the more open we are to life, the more open we are to life, the more open we are to being born again anew. Yes, this is what it means to truly live. Being open to saying yes to life, so when you eventually take your last breath, you'll be doing so while fully living. The soul inquiry is, what unexpected thing wants to bloom within you? Doesn't that go with your reading? So enjoy your month of December. Happy birthday. And until we meet again, remember, I do love you.